What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bodacious Rant, the last one of 2022. I'm sorry. We're going into 2023. Happy New Year's, everybody. I hope everyone's going to have a safe and lovely evening. Get wasted to a certain degree of safety. I mean, I don't know. You know what? Just don't drink and drive. That's all I'm going to say for that.
Yeah. I mean, we say be good, be safe, but, once a year it's okay to not do those things.
Well, still be safe. But you don't have to be good. You could be bad in all the worst or best ways. But you know what? That's what we're here to talk about. Bern and I are going to share our top 10 movies of the year. And it was another solid year for the most part. There are a little more disappointments than most, I feel like, lately. But you know what? Again, still some great years. Some movies that definitely came from under the radar that I was not expecting to be good. Like, there are some movies that definitely had no right being as good as they were. But shall we get started, Bern? Do we want to stop? Do we want to just rattle off our bottom five and then go into the top five?
Yeah. Our 10 to 6, your 10 to 6, my 10 to 6, the lower half of the list, but still 10, that's very good. Like, we've seen a lot. We saw a lot of movies this year. So it's like, man, a lot of really good ones.
I still missed some, man. It was hard. There was some movies that were just didn't have the time to, or just were out of the way, where I'm like, God damn, I don't feel like going out there for that. I'm tired.
Like I still haven't seen The Fabelmans. I still haven't seen Babylon. I haven't seen Tar. There's a few movies that have come out within the last few weeks that it's just been hard to watch. So they didn't make the list. If it did, then that would have been cool. But
I've never seen Gone with the Wind or A Christmas Story. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna go with. It's like, Ryan, those are not from this century at all. It's like, yeah. So it's like, okay. Just, God damn it. All right. So for me, my bottom five, and this was a bit of a tough list, especially number 6. But number 10 for me was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, just because I really love what they did with Namor, and it was just it was a great way to pivot from Chadwick Boseman's death. So I thought that was great. I really like Scream 5. That was awesome. That came out at the very beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. Easily the best one since Scream 2, and 2 and 1 are the best of the best ones. So I really like what that did, kind of reinventing the formula, like rebooting it, but at the same time keeping the series going, like revitalizing it. So that was great. The Northman with Alexander Skarsgård, that was just another tremendous, film. Perfect blend of being like almost art house while also just being a historical epic. So that was great. Nope, again, that was my top 5 for a while, but there are a couple movies that near the end of the year that just kicked it out. No offense to Jordan Peele or the great talent that was in that movie. And then the one to round out number 6, this was the one I really had difficulty placing. It was Prey. That was on Hulu, the new Predator movie. That one I kind of forgot came out this year, but rewatching, I was like, God damn, this is so good. Amber Mid-Thunder killed it, and it was such a great way. Another good movie to revitalize that franchise, in my opinion. So that's my bottom 5, Bern. What about you? Go!
I mean, yeah, that was easily the best sequel to the movie that we got. I mean, there's been a lot of ones. I did enjoy Predators, but yeah, Prey was good. It's unfortunate that it didn't get a theatrical release, because I think it really would have made some ground there. But yeah, I mean, that's an unfortunate thing about the streaming era. But what are you gonna do about it? But for me, my 10 to 6, and my number 10 is The Northman. For all the reasons you said, it's a really awesome movie, blending that more artistic sensibilities with something a little bit more easily digestible in a revenge story. It's shot really well. Robert Eggers has a great eye for movies. It's not my favorite of his. I think my favorite is still The Lighthouse. That he did a few years ago, but this one was awesome. And Alexander Skarsgård, it doesn't seem like he's getting a lot of Academy or like a lot of awards nominations at all, which is unfortunate. I think that's just a product of the movie releasing earlier this year, but he did give a really solid central performance in that movie and carried that movie all the way through. So yeah, that's my number 10. My number 9 is Barbarian. That was a absolutely like you described in the beginning of the episode here, that there are movies that just completely caught us off guard, and this movie completely caught me off guard. It would be my favorite horror movie of the year, if not for another one in my top 10 list, which you can debate it's a horror movie or not, but in terms of just like straight up horror movie, this one's my favorite of the year. This is completely unexpected. Where you think it's gonna go, it takes a complete left turn, and I went in knowing absolutely nothing about it and had an absolutely insane time. So Barbarian is my number 9. At my number 8 is a movie that just came out recently, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's my favorite animated movie of the year. I think it's an easy lock for the Oscar win. It's absolutely fantastically animated in the stop motion form, which I think is a completely amazing art form on its own. Every time one of those stop motion movies comes out, I'm always like blown away by how people are able to make that. Like, it just looks so good. Like, it's amazing. And again, we have a story in Pinocchio that we've heard time and time again. And in this one, Guillermo del Toro gives us an absolutely different look into it. And it's probably my favorite adaptation of the Pinocchio story. So that is my number 8. Number 7, I got The Banshees of Inisherin. It's a Martin McDonagh movie. For people who don't know who that is, he made In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths, and what was it? Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. So he's only made a handful of movies, but they've all been great, and this is absolutely one of them. Colin Farrell gives an outstanding performance here. It's one of the funniest movies of the year, but it's also one of the saddest movies of the year. It's definitely going to be one that wins a lot of awards this coming season, I'm expecting. But this is an absolutely I was blown away by this movie, and it was really good. And to round off my bottom 10, my bottom 5, at number 6, just not cracking the top 5, but it's still a fantastic movie, is Jordan Peele's Nope. Like I said, this is the only other movie you can consider a horror movie on this list, even though it's like not necessarily, but it works as a monster movie. And you and I had the privilege of watching Jaws earlier this year in theaters, which was an awesome experience. And seeing that movie in IMAX, and then seeing Nope in IMAX, I was like, wow, this is like Jaws of like the modern age. It's like the Jaws of the sky, instead of the Jaws of the sea. It's so really well done, incredibly well shot, and Jordan Peele continues to make amazing movies, so with some awesome commentary. And here I think he leveled up as a director with the way like the movie is shot, and the performances he gets out of Keke Palmer and David Kaluuya. So yeah, this is a wildly entertaining movie, and I'm glad I got to see it in IMAX, and I feel like everybody should have gone and seen it. But it's at my number 6.
Very solid bottom. Very, very solid 5. Like I said, I definitely. Barbarian was a great one. I still never saw Banshees of Inisherin, unfortunately, but yeah, Barbarian was such a crazy movie. I can't believe, I don't feel like that got enough credit as it should have, but it is what it is. So my top 5 this year are the bottom of the top 5 is going to be Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, just for all the reasons you said, Burn, but also is just such an emotionally engaging story, and a very, I would say dark, but also mostly realistic view of what Pinocchio would probably be like, especially during its time period, which was World War II. Just fantastic, animation. The voice acting was great, and again, Guillermo is just a master at his craft. He's definitely one of the few I could proudly say that without a doubt. So I really like that one. My number 4 is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, just because it's funny because those two movies were both on Netflix, and those movies definitely should have been in theaters as well, kind of like along with Prey, where they would be perfect for a big screen, IMAX, Dolby, whatever. Luckily, I got to see Glass Onion in theaters, and again, it hit hard. I think that's one of the few sequels I do like better than the original, just because of the brand new cast. It definitely added more flavor to it. Daniel Craig is funnier than ever. Very well done mystery, unless you're Ben Shapiro, which he did not like. That was hilarious to hear that on Twitter. But, oh man, like I said, that's definitely one to watch, and at least it's accessible for everybody who has Netflix at least. Mm-hmm. My number 3 is Avatar: The Way of Water. It's a lot of sequels this year, guys, so bear with us. But, at least it's an original franchise, like I said. And that's just another sequel that did not let down. It was a little repetitive. I know that's a big critique of it, but I personally don't mind it just because it's Avatar. We got a lot to explore with that universe. And didn't think James Cameron could really reinvent the wheel with 3D, but he improved upon it. Made it very enjoyable to watch 3D, and that's actually the way I would recommend it to people. But I was looking at showings again just to kind of maybe go see it again. It's the 3D options kind of very few now. Now it's like in regular Dolby, all kinds of stuff. So that one I still recommend in theaters. Number 2 and 1 are easily the best of the best movies this year. Number 2 is The Batman. That with Robert Pattinson, that was one I did not expect to love that much. I was very hesitant for a while, like for the previous years when it was announced. But man, Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson did so great. And oh my God, completely reinvented Batman for me. I thought Ben Affleck is still up there for me, but Robert Pattinson is a close second. And the action was great. The Batmobile was completely redesigned into its own thing, and it was amazing. Can't wait to see hopefully we keep that going. Hopefully James Gunn does not decide to axe that, that little, that franchise within DC. And the first one, Bern, I'm sure you're going to guess it. I'm just going to say it, though, is Top Gun Maverick. That is easily the best movie of this year. Tom Cruise never lets down. And this is definitely the movie I was kind of talking about had no right to be as good as what it should have been. Because the first Top Gun it's a movie I make a lot of jokes about. It's a pretty memeable movie. But this sequel, man, it was so good. That's definitely, even Quentin Tarantino says this is what cinema is. It's like, shit. That was just a lot of a lot of big directors saying like Top Gun was amazing, the way it was shot, what real they got with it. It was just fantastic. It was perfection really this year.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, I couldn't agree more. But listen, my number 5 is Glass Onion. Yeah, I mean, for all the reasons you said, this is one of those rare sequels that equal or rival or even better than the original movie. And now that it is out on Netflix, and everyone's gotten to see it, it seems like a lot of people are really, really enjoying it, which is nice. Again, we've talked about how the accessibility of it being on the streaming service probably lends itself to being seen by more people, and it's making a wave right now, and that's really awesome to see. I got to see it again, watched it with the family, and it's again like one of those movies where once you know what happens, it's very enjoyable to watch again, especially with people who haven't seen it yet, so you can sort of see their reactions to the things that happen in the movie. It's just a whole lot of fun, and it's incredibly well done. I can't say really anything more about it. It's amazing, and it's my number 5. And my number 4 is Avatar, the Way of Water. Just an incredible, cinematic experience. I got to go see it again in the theater. I continue to just want to go watch it again because that world is just so incredibly realized. And like I mentioned in our review, you just forget that this movie is all CG. You just get completely lost in the world. And yeah, as you mentioned, there are beats that repeat themselves from the last movie and within the movie itself. But I think the characters are so strong and the world is so beautiful that you just sort of go with the flow. Even for me, with someone who was like, oh, I wish they wouldn't have done that again. But I'm just like, oh, well, I'm here for the adventure and I can go back again. And I like that this movie established Avatar as a franchise that I want to keep coming back to. With the first movie, once that one ended, I was like, that's cool. If they make another one, awesome. If they don't, that was great. Now I just want more. And I think that's something to be said about a sequel where you're like, okay, I can get more of these things and be happy about it. So James Cameron delivers, and people should definitely go watch it. It's still in theaters now. It'll probably be there for a while. It's made over $1 billion already, so it's a wild success, and I'm glad that we're going to be getting more of these movies in the near future. Hopefully before I'm dead, Mr. James Cameron. But yeah, that's my number 4. And my number 3 is The Batman. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson just blew it out of the water with this one. Once we saw images of that trailer at the DC Fandom years ago, man, this was one of my most anticipated movies of this year. And it coming out early in the year, I was wondering if it would have that staying power of, is it going to remain in my top 10 list? Well, it remained in my top 5. It's such a good movie, so well shot. When with properties like Batman that have been done time and time again, you have to bring a different sensibility into it, and I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. All the actors were amazing. The look of Gotham was great, and I want more of these movies too. And I'm pretty sure James Gunn has already said that we're gonna continue getting these movies, and it'll be in its own universe. So that's fantastic. I can't wait for more of these, and hopefully it doesn't take too long too, because I want to get more of this story immediately. So yeah, the Batman is at my number 3. At my number 2, well, my number 2 and my number 1, I debated a lot on, because they both are easy number 1s, and it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day. They can flip flop, any day of the week. If you ask me, it depends on how I feel. But at my number 2 is Top Gun Maverick. Amazing, amazing movie. Outside of Avatar, this is the best theater experience I had all year. Definitely one of the best action movies I think have ever been made. The flight sequences alone are worth watching the movie, and the movie's just like one of those throwback blockbusters that just make you leaving the movie feeling just like absolutely like on cloud 9. So good. I can't say anything more about it than people watch it, but I think everybody's watched it at this point. The movie was made so much money, and now that it's on Paramount Plus, I think people who didn't get to see it in the theaters are now going to be able to watch it at home. And yeah, one of the best movies of the year, and it's not my favorite. Again, this one and the next one flip-flop all the time for me. But if you're asking me today what my number 1 is, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once, from the Daniels. An incredible, incredible movie. I mentioned it in my review that I think it's one of my favorite movies just ever, period. And it's just one of those that takes the concept that is completely wild. Like I mentioned, it's the real multiverse of madness that we got this year outside of the Doctor Strange movie, which I felt under-delivered on that premise. This movie completely delivers on that, and at the heart of it is a great family story. And I think Michelle Yeoh is gonna be a front runner for the Oscars. I think this movie's gonna come away with a lot of awards come Oscar season. So it's one of those deeply effective movies that I think people leave and hopefully feel changed by it. But that's for them to decide. I mean, my only advice is people go watch this movie. It's amazing, and it's my number 1 of the year.
Well, that was a very, very solid one. I was kind of, when you said Top Gun was number 2, I was like, oh, it's got to be Everywhere All at Once, because I still have to watch it. I think I may just, I just got to rent it and watch it, just because I know you spoke highly about it. It's still doing really well. And Michelle Yeoh, this is another, like, I know talk about Guillermo del Toro's had a year. Her herself, she's been in a lot. She was actually supposed to be in Avatar 2, but they cut some of her footage out and stuff, so I thought that was interesting.
Really? Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't remember hearing her in the movie, or like hearing about her being in it, so either way, I'm like, damn. And she's in the Witcher series, the Witcher prequel, which unfortunately is not doing well. Not her fault. But Michelle Yeoh, she's just another treasure of Hollywood, so I'm glad she had a very successful year. Other than that, that's a very solid list, Burn. And there were plenty of good shows this year too. I can't quite recall. I think the best one recently for me was just Wednesday on Netflix. That one I really got a kick out of. What about you, Burn? Did you have at least one favorite show of this year?
I mean, I'll just rattle off my top 5. I got them. I mean,
go ahead, Burn. Yeah,
The Boys season 3 was great. I mean, the Barry season 3 was amazing too.
Oh, Barry, I forgot about Barry. Goddamn, that was crazy.
Such a dark season of TV, but Bill Hader's killing it there. It's cool to see him do well with Barry and see Jason Sudeikis do well with Ted Lasso. 2 SNL alums that have gone off to do their own thing, and amazing television that we're getting from both those guys. And/or the best, I think, IP show we've gotten this year. Just amazing what they did with the Star Wars property there. Severance, I finally finished Severance on Apple TV. Crazy show. It's one that I don't want to tell people like much of. If they haven't seen it or heard of it, just go watch it. It's amazing. It's crazy. Like one of the biggest cliffhangers I think of a first season. When it ended, I was like, no, it just can't end there. I was like, I can't wait for that second season to come up. And my number 1 is a show probably people haven't heard of. It's called The Rehearsal, and it's on HBO Max. It's with Nathan Fielder and his show. It's just one of those shows that blurs the lines between reality TV and scripted TV. I don't want to say anything to anybody other than just watch the first episode and see if you want to continue it, because that first episode is absolutely wild. Just yeah, go watch it, people. That's my favorite show of the year, just because, man, the places it goes is just ridiculous. But yeah, those are my just quick top fives.
That's a very solid list. I haven't seen Unfortunate Severance of the Rehearsal. I do agree with you with the other three, and I can't. Again, I think I've just been thinking more movies lately because those shows were so good this year. But my other two, I would, on top of your three, Barry, The Boys, and Andor, are going to be Primal Season 2 and then Wednesday, just because I got a kick out of those. I don't know if they will make a Primal Season 3 the way it ended, but again, still one of my favorite shows of all time. Watch it. There's no excuses not to watch it. So, especially you, Bern. I'm just getting done.
I'm the one who told you about it, also.
You did not. Don't you frickin' start with me. Anyways, guys, did you guys enjoy all the entertainment we had this year for our fellow ranters, for those on TV, movies? We would love to know what your guys' favorite ones. You don't have to give us a top 10 unless you want to, or just let us know. Hey, what was your favorite thing of the year? We would love to keep that going. Like I said before, we appreciate everything that you guys have done for us, with the likes, subscribes, and the ringing of the bells. We will hope to have another great year with you guys in 2023. Again, have a great New Year's. Hope everybody has another great year of success and happiness. And, of course, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for the both of us.
Absolutely, everybody. I say, be good, be safe, but, do whatever you want, but be safe, at least the next few weeks. But
exactly.
Yeah, I guess everybody we'll catch y'all in the new year, and it's been a great one, everyone. So we'll see ya.